Just an hour ago, the Outlander fandom was hit with the most heartbreaking news they've heard in years. Sam Heughan, normally composed and unshakably calm in public, was seen leaving an interview set with eyes red and shoulders tense. A short clip recorded by someone backstage captured the exact moment his world seemed to crumble. Sam had picked up a phone call, only to hear devastating medical news about his mother. Within minutes, the internet exploded with worry and confusion. Sam had been preparing for a press appearance when the call came in. He stepped aside politely at first, expecting something routine, but his expression shifted instantly as he listened. His smile faded, his posture stiffened, and his hand trembled slightly as he pressed the phone closer to his ear. Witnesses say the color drained from his face. It was obvious. Whatever he had just heard, it shattered him. For years, fans knew that Sam was incredibly close to his mother. He spoke about her with warmth, admiration, and a deep sense of gratitude. But what the public didn't know was that she had been quietly battling a rare and difficult-to-treat illness. The family kept the struggle private, hoping to shield her, and Sam, from overwhelming media attention. Only a few close friends and colleagues were aware of the truth. Until today. Sources revealed that Sam had been living with constant worry for months. He had been flying back and forth whenever his schedule allowed, squeezing in visits between filming, press events, and charity commitments. Even during interviews, there were moments when his smile seemed slightly strained, his eyes unfocused for a second longer than usual. Now fans understood why. The burden he was carrying had been heavier than anyone realized. When Sam hung up the phone, he didn't speak. He simply handed it back to the assistant and walked toward the back of the room with shaky steps. A staff member who witnessed the moment said he looked like a man trying not to fall apart. His hands were clenched, and his breathing quickened. Someone nearby tried to speak to him, but he couldn't respond. He leaned against the wall, staring at the floor as tears welled in his eyes. The news spreading online suggested that his mother's condition had taken a sudden and dangerous turn. Doctors reportedly informed the family that her illness had advanced faster than expected and that urgent decisions needed to be made. For Sam, who was miles away when the call came, the shock was overwhelming. The guilt of not being physically present added to the emotional blow. Fans across the world felt their hearts break for him. Clips of Sam wiping his face with the back of his hand quickly circulated on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. Hashtags like #StayStrongSam, #PrayersForSam, and #SamHeughanMom began trending within minutes. Fans flooded the internet with messages of support, sharing stories of their own loved ones' battles and offering comfort to their favorite actor. Some even organized virtual prayer circles and candlelight vigils. The outpouring of love was immediate and massive. But amidst the chaos, one detail caught everyone's attention. Before Sam was rushed out of the venue by his team, he pulled out his phone again, typed something quickly, and pressed call. According to a crew member standing nearby, he whispered, "I need you." The trembling in his voice was unmistakable. This small moment sparked endless speculation online as fans tried to guess who he could have called in such a fragile moment. Journalists quickly scrambled for information, theorizing whether Sam would cancel upcoming appearances and fly home. Some outlets reported that he had already contacted his management to rearrange his schedule. Others claimed he asked for a private jet to be prepared immediately. What everyone agreed on was this: Sam was devastated, shaken to his core, and desperately trying to keep himself together long enough to get to his mother's side. The emotional weight of the situation rippled through the Outlander fandom like a shockwave. Many remembered interviews where Sam praised his mother's strength, calling her his inspiration and the foundation of everything he achieved. To hear that she was now fighting for her life was more heartbreaking than fans could bear. They felt protective of him, collectively wishing they could shield him from the pain he was enduring. As hours passed, more details emerged about the severity of her illness. It was a rare condition known for unpredictable spikes that could suddenly worsen without warning. Doctors had been monitoring her closely, but today brought the kind of update every family fears. Sam's devastation made perfect sense. He wasn't just reacting, he was breaking. By the time the news stabilized, one thing had become clear. The world had just witnessed one of Sam's most vulnerable moments. A moment no actor, no public figure, no son should ever have to face under the harsh lens of the public eye. But even through the heartbreak, his strength showed. He didn't lash out, didn't hide, didn't crumble completely. He just tried to breathe, to process, to hold himself together for the woman who raised him. And as the fandom watched, heartbroken and helpless, they were left with one overwhelming question. Would Sam make it in time to be by his mother's side? As more information surfaced about what Sam had heard on that devastating phone call, the emotional storm surrounding him only intensified. Insiders confirmed that the update about his mother's condition was far more serious than anyone expected. Doctors had discovered that her illness had entered a critical stage, one that even the most aggressive treatments might not be able to reverse. For Sam, the news was like a punch to the chest. He had always feared this day, but nothing could prepare him for the moment it arrived. After leaving the venue, Sam was rushed into a private room by his team, where he finally allowed himself to break down. A staff member who witnessed the moment said he sat with his head in his hands, shoulders shaking, unable to speak for several minutes. The sense of helplessness overwhelmed him. Despite all his success, fame, and strength, there was nothing he could do to change the reality he had just heard. His mother, the woman who had shaped his life, was in danger, and he wasn't there. But the detail that captured the internet's attention the most was the identity of the person Sam called right after receiving the news. According to an insider, the first name he dialed wasn't his manager, nor a family member, it was Caitriona Balfe. The revelation shocked fans, but to those who understood the deep emotional bond between the two, it made perfect sense. Sam needed someone who truly understood him, someone who had walked beside him for more than a decade, someone who had become an anchor in his chaotic life. The insider claimed that when Caitriona answered, Sam could barely speak. His voice cracked as he told her what had happened. Caitriona immediately sensed the severity of the situation. She didn't say anything at first, just let him breathe, let him cry, let him release the fear gripping him. When she finally spoke, her voice shook too. She told him she was there, that he wasn't alone, and that she would help him figure out whatever he needed to do next. Minutes later, another clip leaked online, this time showing Caitriona on the phone backstage at her own event. She stepped away from a group of people, wiped her nose, and said, "Tell him I'm coming." Fans were stunned. The emotional intensity of her reaction was deeper than simple concern for a colleague. It was raw, immediate, and deeply human. She didn't ask for details. She didn't hesitate. She simply reacted from the heart. As media speculation grew, a source close to Caitriona explained her reaction. She had known about Sam's mother's illness for months. She had been one of the few people Sam confided in during the most stressful days. They shared long conversations about his fears, the emotional weight he carried, and his constant worry that his career would keep him too far from home. Learning that the situation had worsened broke her as much as it broke him. When journalists finally approached Caitriona for a comment, her voice trembled. She said softly, "He's doing the best he can. It's a very hard moment for him." Her eyes glistened, and she quickly excused herself before reporters could ask more questions. Fans saw the sadness in her expression. They understood the depth of her empathy for Sam and the emotional link that had connected them for years. Meanwhile, Sam arranged to fly home as quickly as possible. Insiders revealed he refused to wait for the standard flight preparations and requested immediate arrangements, even if it meant traveling alone. He had only one thought: getting to his mother's side. During the drive to the airport, Sam reportedly broke down again, whispering, "Please let me make it in time." The desperation in his voice left everyone involved shaken. Online, the fandom united in an unprecedented wave of support. Thousands of fans sent messages, prayers, and artwork dedicated to Sam and his mother. Even celebrities and co-stars expressed their sympathy. But the most touching message came from Caitriona. Late at night, she posted a simple black and white photo of hands intertwined, with the caption, Hold on, I'm with you. She didn't tag anyone. She didn't mention names, but the world knew exactly who she was speaking to. The post became one of her most liked in years. As Sam's plane finally took off, the atmosphere was heavy with uncertainty. No one knew what awaited him when he landed. No one knew how much time his mother had left. No one knew how deeply this moment would change him. But one thing had become heartbreakingly clear. Sam was facing the most painful chapter of his life, and he wasn't facing it alone. The world watched, holding its breath, praying for strength, comfort, and a miracle. And as the night settled in, one haunting question echoed through the hearts of fans everywhere. Would Sam get the chance to say goodbye?